Well, it's a far better day today, so I'm going to get the pressure washer out and see if that inverter, my 3000 watt one, can actually power it. I think it might struggle because it's a highly inductive load with bad power factor. This is the best day we've had in a long time. So this is what's coming in, and if I turn the inverter off, the grid tie one, that's it dumping power into this well insulated dump load here, and the water in it is actually roasting hot because it must have started heating up about 6 o'clock this morning. Here it is in my junk box. It's not a piece of junk, but I don't know why it's there. So I've modified it because the plug on it was actually crap. It was just getting a poor connection and it probably overheat when powering a pressure washer. So all I've done is just basically wired this external plug into it like this. So now the plug there still does work. You could use it for other lower powered things, but I've got this, and that's another reason is so I could put my big extension cable that runs across the garden into it. So like I could power stuff in the house in the event of a power cut, which to be fair doesn't happen very much here. So this inverter is really going to push the battery hard. I've only got 325 watts currently coming in for the solar. So yeah, that pressure washer is about 2.2 kilowatt. So it's going to be drawing probably almost 100 amps through these cables here. These cables normally go to my grid tie inverters, but I'm having to use them here. Right, and switch it on. There we go. Now let's see if we can run the pressure washer. I'm really not sure. It's a very heavy inductive load. It might struggle. 2.1 kilowatt. Okay, here goes. Let's switch it on. No, it doesn't seem to be able to. Well, something weird's happened. I don't know. I know, it's tripped the circuit breaker. It's too much current. That's only a 50 amp circuit breaker and it's tripped it. Forgot that was there. Right, so we'll have to bypass that somehow. Right, there we go. I've just put a connector block on it. Well, a whole row. Right, let's try again. Right, no complaints so far. Right, let's go. Now let's see what the battery voltage does. I bet it'll plummet. That power washer's got something wrong with it because as soon as you apply power to it, it starts up even when you're not using the nozzle, and it would probably burn itself out if you left it on. See what I mean? It just starts up by itself. And I've measured it, it draws over 4 kilowatt when it does that. so that's a bit annoying. It keeps overloading. Well, they performed a little bit better than I expected them to. Now let's see if these cables start jumping around, all that current goes through them, because I imagine it would. There's going to be almost 100 amps going through it, so let's see. One thing I will point out is I've never heard the fans come on with this inverter, so I'm going to run it for a while longer and see if I can actually get its fans to come on. Well, that's the car all been washed with a sponge, so I've just to rinse it now. So we're just showing the battery voltage here, but still haven't managed to get the fans on this to turn on. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because it's just very efficient. They say in the eBay description that it uses components that are very much overrated for what the inverter is actually meant to do. Well, it's a Chinese inverter, so I find that hard to believe, but we'll give it another try and see how much the voltage goes down this time. Damn thing overloaded again. That's a pressure washer. It just pressure washer like sometimes stalls and just overloads. But yeah, it is a hose lock pressure washer, so as you can expect, pretty much the whole thing's going to be made out of plastic. So what I do is I just press that, then switch it on, just to stop it from overloading. You see what I mean? You switch it on and then it just seizes up. So you've got to actually be pressing the nozzle and then switch on. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that.
So if that inverter can run a pressure washer, then it should be able to charge an electric car as well. But I'd have to get 4 more of those big batteries, because that's only about 6 kilowatt hours there when you discharge at a 20-hour rate, so you'll probably get quite a bit less if you're like pulling 2.2 kilowatts from it. So to charge the car, yeah, I'm definitely going to need 8 of those batteries, which will give me about 12 kilowatt hours. Not enough for a full charge, but maybe give me like 20 or 30 miles maybe. But yeah, that's it pretty much. Fully charged again. So what I'm going to do now is switch over into grid tie mode. So I'll just adjust the power here. See, as I twist that I could change the power. It's a 500 watt grid tie inverter, but it can hit 600 watts, but I'll just make sure that I limit the power. So we get this up to 500. Yeah, and I'll stay about there. Drawing just a little over 20 amps. Now we'll just plug the pressure washer into the mains. So at least the pressure washer will be getting some of its power from the solar. Well, after all that, I think I'm going to have me some boiled eggs. Quite hot, that. Yeah, we've got them boiling in there. It's a lot better with this insulation. It doesn't lose heat anywhere near as fast. I might add a bit more just around there. But yeah, it is only the 19th of March just now, and already we're getting this much power, so I imagine at the height of summer these solar panels will probably maybe put out about 600 watt continuous. I've actually added more. I've got 1200 watts up there, but they don't produce that much. It's only, they only tend to give that much power when the sun is behind a cloud, or the panels are cold and then the sun comes out from behind a cloud, and then you get that at their peak. That's when you get their peak power, or sometimes even more than their peak rated power. But once the panels heat up in summer, you tend to not get as much power out of them. And I'll just boil them in there for about 10 minutes, and then that's them done. And then I have eggs that have been cooked using nothing more than solar energy. Well, this is boiling quite vigorously now. There's about 400 watts going into it. So I'll put the grid tie inverter on. I'll just use my phone to do that. And then I'll just turn it up. Just to get rid of some of the power, so not as much as going to the dump load, and some can get fed back. So I hope you found all that informative and interesting. There'll be the solar eclipse tomorrow, which is going to be a partial solar eclipse. We're in Fife, and about in central Scotland, so I'll be doing a time lapse on that as well as getting some pictures. So I don't know what it's going to be like. I think it's probably going to be cloudy, as is usual here, but it should be quite interesting. It'll be quite eerie when it gets dark. But anyway, bye for now.